Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Gina and in today's video I'm going to talk about the readathons that I'm participating in for January. So this is separate from my TBR game, though I've tried to make those books work for one of the readathons, and you'll see how I did that. Okay, I would like to say that I miss filming with my bookcase in the background. It was such a better background to look at than now you can see my dog pop up on the bottom of the screen because he's sitting on the chair. But alas, if I want to film before midnight in quiet, it has to be in here because the children and the husband are all awake and making lots of noise as they play their video games. So let's go. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the readathons that are specifically January only, and there's 3 of those. So I'm participating in Buzzwordathon, that Books and Lala does. She's kind of left it open to the community. Like, they've set up words or themes for every month, and that were a lot of the words were also picked by like her watchers. So she's not in charge of the readathon, and they've kind of just spread it out all year long, and so she can participate without actually hosting anything, which she needed a break from, which is fine. It's awesome. And so the word for January is dream. I think when I looked at my TBR, and I'm not going to just find random books for this that I've never heard of before because I just don't want to right now, with the word dream in it. I had 2, but I have too much stuff to add. So I'm only going to do 1, and for that I'm reading In an Absent Dream by Seanan McGuire. This is the 4th? I honestly don't remember. But this one is about, is this the lady who like helps out? I believe it is. The like owner of the like halfway house, if you want to call it that, for people that have traveled to other worlds. I believe this one is about a very serious young girl that like helps out, and she just wants to study, and she doesn't want to be a housewife, or apparently. Yeah. I've liked all of the series so far, so I'm sure this will not disappoint. This is, though she goes to a world founded on logic and reason, riddles and lies. So, the goblin market. So that'll be interesting. The last one I read was all fluffy and candy and like the land of sweets. So definitely a different turn for that. So that'll be great. What was next? I'm also loosely participating in the Pop Culture Readathon because the theme is 80s. I love the 80s. It's the decade I was born in. Now you know. But 80s movies, yes, I know. I mean, I'm sure if you're really to dig down and deep into them, a lot of them are probably very problematic, but they hold a dear place in my heart, and so I might binge watch some 80s movies this month, like The Breakfast Club and Grease and Dirty Dancing. But there was a couple of different boards to choose from for Pop Culture Readathon. I was really close to picking the Brat Pack because it had all of like my favorite movies on there, but the prompts didn't jive. Didn't really call to me, I guess, and I was worried I'd be able to find books that would fit them. So I am doing the 9 to 5 board, which I'll put a picture up, which also has some really great movies. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, yes. This one has My Dirty Dancing. Love that movie. Splash, Coming to America. Oh my gosh, Coming to America 2, I believe is coming out, or they're starting to make it. They're filming it right now, I think. Oh, I'm so excited. So yeah, great movies on this board, and for this you can try to get a blackout, and that's what I was originally aiming for, but there's not a lot of great mermaids books out there. And I don't like my mermaids to be evil and murderous. I am a Little Mermaid Disney fan at heart, so I want my mermaids to come in the form of like romance books or young adult. It's just who I am as a person, and that's okay. But I read A Song Below Water, which barely involved mermaids. I mean, they were sirens, but they never actually like swam. I'm a nerd. Anyway, so I am reading a few from here. I was able to get, where was it? From my TBR video, I had to find a interesting author, and it's an indie published author. Their name is Kaylin Riwial, and almost all of Zier's books have some sort of polyamorous rep, and since I'm already binge reading the majority of Zier's books, it works perfectly. So that was a fantastic pick. I am also reading, which was a book from my TBR game, Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar, and that will be the speculative fiction book for the Terminator Square. And then the diaspora author, I actually went with the Indigenous, because the bonus theme is Indigenous authors. And for that, I am reading a book by Amberlynn Quaymolina, and I read the sibling book that she wrote, her and her brother, Amberlynn, I think is a sister, and called The Things She's Seen, and it was so good. So I'm so glad I found this. It's called The Interrogation of a Shallow Wolf, and I don't have it yet. Oh shoot, I do, but it's in the other room and I don't want to get up. My bad. But I will post a picture. Or I did already post a picture. And the description on this was fairly vague. You have a shallow wolf who is a member of the tribe, and the tribe are illegal. They're called illegals, is what they said, illegals, and they're native. But Shala has been captured and is being interrogated by some captain or general. He had a title, that's all I remember. And then something about a betrayer who is also there in the room, so I'm guessing somebody. And it just says, will the tribe survive the interrogation of a shallow wolf? So if it's anything like the other book, I'm sure I'll love it, and I hope I do. So that'll get me a bingo all the way across the middle with The Witches of Eastwick, Terminator, and Coming to America. But I also, a lot of the books that I'll be reading by Kaylin will also fit the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas as Steamy reads, because Zier writes erotica. And I did just read a book, I finished it today, for the Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner, the bad boy trope, and which I will talk about in my wrap up. Oh, I put it in the other room already, damn it. It's Julia Quinn's When He Was Wicked. Fantastic. Possibly my favorite of the Bridgerton series so far, book 6. But book 4 was also fantastic. And I do have a new adult novel. For that, I am reading Storm of Locusts by Rebecca Roanhorse, also an Indigenous author. And basically the bonus theme, if you read a book by Indigenous author, or whatever the bonus theme is, because it's different for every card, you get to cross off a square, an extra square, I believe. So that would leave me with, because that gives me 2 squares so far, because that's 2 Indigenous authors, right? Yes. So I really need to read 1 more to get a blackout. And it really just depends, because the last 2 that are left, emotionally charged read and hard-hitting contemporary, I don't know if you really know if a book fits those until after you've read it. I mean, I guess you could say like a book I think is going to be hard-hitting, and I've kind of done that, or it might be emotionally charged, I don't know. But Storm of Locusts is a sequel to Trail of Lightning, and I read that earlier this year, and it was fantastic, so good. So I'm super excited to see what's going to happen next in this story, but it involves a lot of Native American mythology involved, and the main character is a monster killer, and her friend that she's made, maybe more than a friend, I forget, who helps her, or at least was helping her in the last book. I don't know if they'll continue to help, but that'll be fantastic. So 1 more book gets me a blackout on this card, and I'm thinking that it very well could be, I'm going to read The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Junauda Petrus. And I don't know much about this. I'm actually listening to it, library audiobook. But all I know is it's queer, it's a female, I think young adult, romance, but like maybe a little forbidden. Because if I believe correctly, like one of the girls was caught by her parents with her secret girlfriend, and then sent to America, where she meets the other character in this book. And maybe this is going to be hard-hitting or emotionally charged. I don't know. I won't know until I read it. So we'll see. Otherwise, I'm also reading to my kids tonight, actually, because Murphy Napier's done nothing but talk about it all year long. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie McKessie? I think it's an S, McKessie. And I remember like she cried or something, so I don't know. Maybe this will be an emotionally charged read. I'll find out, and I'll let you know. I will. So that is the 9 to 5 for Pop Culture Readathon. And I'm also participating in the Battle of the Bookish, which I don't have. Well, if I found a graphic, I will put it up here. But the Battle of the Bookish is a competitive readathon, and I really like these where you get points. I don't know why. It speaks to my soul, because I'm apparently a competitive person. Yeah. So you get points per page, as well as points, like, so every book that I read this month will count towards the Battle of the Bookish, I believe, page-wise count. But then there's 3 prompts in your team. This is a genre battle this month, or this round, between fantasy, sci-fi, thriller, horror, and I don't remember if the last one was like contemporary or romance. I forget. But, and I think each team has 3 prompts, I believe. And then there's 3 general prompts that anybody can read. The general prompts are like 50 points, and then the team prompts are 100 points plus page, I think. I would assume so. So for Battle of the Bookish, I plan on using the books from my TBR, the Clever TBR. I was able to make it work. I did a little kind of planning while I picked my TBR books. So Star Daughter by Shweta Sakrar will work for the Hero's Journey prompt. The Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo will work for the Magic System prompt. The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Junauda Petrus will work for the LGBT plus main character author. And then the 3 general prompts are part of a series, which also would be quite a few of the books that I'm reading this month, but I am specifically using the middle grade that I got from my TBR game, Smile by Raina Telgemeier, because my daughter loves it. And then reread a book. I am rereading Ready Player One, which because I bought with from Book of the Month, the $5 first book deal, Ready Player 2, and I want to reread Ready Player 1 before I can read the new book. And then the last general prompt is just read a book. It's like literally read any book. So I'm not picking a book. I'll just randomly, whichever one, I mean maybe even one of the ones I just finished. And then, so those are my January only readathons. Okay, so I am participating in 2 year-long readathons, reading challenges, whatever you want to call it. The first one is Diverseathon. There are a lot, and I forgot, I didn't even mention the hosts for the other. I'll put all of the hosts for all of the readathons I'm doing down below because I forgot to write them down here, so I couldn't tell you. But Diverseathon, I will link. I don't remember who the creator of it was, if there was a single creator. I believe there was. But Diverseathon is a little different. Each month has a different prompt or theme, as well as a different host. It expands. There's 6 country prompts, and then 6 rep prompts, I guess, kind of. So I'm not going to talk about all of the prompts. Go check out the video. They'll tell you all about them. I'm just going to talk about the January one, and then in February I'll talk about the February one, so on and so forth. You got it. So January, the host is at Bookies, and it's book set in Iceland. It's by Sjon, S-J-O-N, translated by Victoria Cribb. Moonstone, The Boy Who Never Was. And this is a historical fiction, queer, maybe novella, because I don't think it's very long. This one is not here from the library yet, but my library did have it. Amazing. And this one, it's the story of a young man on the fringes of a society that is itself at the fringes of the world, at what seems like history's most tumultuous, perhaps ultimate moment. So the character in this, Mani Stein, is queer in a society in which the idea of homosexuality is beyond the furthest extreme. His city, Reykjavik, in 1918 is homogeneous and isolated and seems entirely defenseless against the Spanish flu, which has already torn through Europe, Asia, and North America, and is now lapping up on Iceland's shores. So, this is going to be possibly a little dark. I don't know. Just says if flu doesn't do it, there's always a threat that war will spread all the way north. So yeah, it says for Monty Stein, the question is whether at Reykjavik's darkest hour he should retreat all the way into this imaginary world of theater, because it says the outside world is also about Icelanders' cinema, so that's or if he should engage with the society that has so soundly rejected him. So I'm excited for that. I think that'll be my first book set in Iceland or by an Icelandic author. So I'm excited for that. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and I think possibly the most exciting thing for me right now, feel free to subscribe if you didn't hate this. I'd love to chat with you. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Have a good one. See you next time.